Hi guys, what the Tories want to do, it seems, is copy Nigel Farage and his positions on issues like culture wars and immigration, but not reference Nigel Farage. James Cleverly and some of the other frontrunners in the Conservative Party leadership contest have realised that pandering to Farage in name isn't helping them out. So the approach seems to be to double down on issues like immigration, but seek to render Reform UK redundant. Will it work? Well, the Reform UK leader, when he was interviewed, doesn't seem to think so.
Yeah, and he wants me to retire. Jenrick says we want Farage to retire.
That's ageist.
Well, there's not a cat's chance in hell of that, let me assure you. They're delusional. They're delusional. They think, let's get another leader, which, by the way, would be the sixth leader since 2016. Let's get a new leader, come out with some different policies, and somehow the public will all say, aren't they wonderful? We're going to come back to them. And what they don't understand is it's rather like a relationship. You know, if you keep letting the other side down, in the end, the relationship's broken. And we've had manifesto promises in 2010, 2015, 2017, 2019, all of which have been broken. And there's now a big swathe of 2019 Conservative voters who actually despise them, who feel really betrayed by them.
But there's a lot of people who despise you, right?
Well, that's true.
But ask them why they despise you, and they'll say because he's a racist. You'll ask him, what has he said that is racist? And then you hit trouble because they can't really define it.
No. What's he said? You know, I've often said to people, what have I said? What have I said? And they can't put the finger on it. You know, thing about politics, of course, there will always be people that don't like you, and that's fine. But unlike Mr. Jenrick and all the others, I've been utterly consistent for year after year in the principles and the things that I believe in. And they genuinely think that Reform voters are coming back to the Conservatives, and they're not. And something really quite big, I think, is going on out there. I'm not doing any deals with the Conservatives. I wouldn't trust them as far as I could throw them. Their brand is broken for many years to come. And remember, think back to when William Hague became the opposition leader to Tony Blair. No one listened to what the Tories had to say for years, and we're back in that same kind of situation. They've made themselves irrelevant, trust has gone, and so my message to them is, sorry guys, but Reform is here to stay. And interestingly, we're now not even thinking about Conservative voters, we're thinking more about Labour voters.
Now, the problem with focusing now on Labour voters is, and I've mentioned it before, Reform UK would have to move to the centre. So I mentioned this in a short as well. If Reform UK want to be a real force, a real challenge to the Labour government and the Labour Party, they need to field more candidates. But the problem with fielding more candidates is that they don't have a proper vetting process. See, they want to be a real party. They want to be, it seems on the surface, a real force in politics. But if they field more candidates, they're going to have to vet these candidates. And this is already an extreme party. So it's going to welcome in, it's going to attract extreme individuals. And those individuals are going to be an embarrassment for the party if they don't vet them properly. Because as we've seen on a number of occasions, people were brought into the party, people were fielded as candidates, and then the media did a bit of research into their background and discovered, this person is a friend of somebody from, I don't know, some far-right organisation. And then they had to be jettisoned. They had to be booted out. So if you want to be a serious party, you need to have a proper vetting process. But then if you're going to keep out crazies, then how are you going to attract more support? Now, the alternative is to move to the centre. But then as soon as you start moving to the centre, you're going to create a space to the far right of you, which is going to be filled by UKIP or somebody else like that. Now, Farage has a huge advantage over far-right parties like UKIP or whatever, GB News. He has a massive platform on GB News. So it's going to be difficult for Reform. If they move too much to the centre, they're going to alienate their base. But if they welcome in crazy people, they're going to face massive embarrassments, and they're going to be constantly firefighting and not promoting themselves as a party. They'll become a joke, and they'll remain a niche. I think it's a massive problem for Reform and for Farage. Farage is a charismatic leader. There's no getting around that. But him on his own can't carry the entire party. If they want to increase their vote share, if they want to increase their numbers in Parliament, they have to appeal to more people. But as soon as they start doing that, they're going to alienate their base. And of course, create a gap for somebody else to come along. Like the Conservatives have done. The Conservatives have alienated their base, moderates, chasing Farage, and this allowed Labour to increase their numbers of parliamentary seats. Now, once again, if Farage attempts to go after Labour, there's a possibility they can flip a few Labour seats. But if they want to be a real force instead of just a fringe element, they need to widen their appeal. And as I said, that carries huge risks. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.